has the Auditor General's criticism of the ArriveCan app affected your view of how the federal government handles expenses?
I mean, I would say that you would expect the federal government to know how to budget and know how to, know how to invest in their money, and especially when a lot of Canadians are going through a lot of food insecurity and not being able to pay their rents. You would think that they would use that money in a different way, and I feel like it was completely useless. I mean, I've used it a couple of times while traveling, and it's just a mess, and it's unfortunate.
I would say so. I mean, personally, I haven't really used the ArriveCan app in quite some time, so I don't think it's that quite relevant to the general public that much anymore. So I think it's a bit overboard for how much it's being used currently.
I'd agree with that, but also considering COVID was a first-time thing, it makes sense to spend a little bit extra to make sure everyone's safe.
You know, government's not a business, so they don't tend to manage money in the same way the private sector does. There are a lot of inefficiencies, and I think the storyline just contributed to what I suspected already, which was that there's not a lot of good management that goes on with tax dollars.
Yeah, I would say so. When it was that extreme of a difference between what we expected for it to cost and what it actually cost in the end, that's disturbing.
You said you had the app on your phone. How did you find it?
It was all right. I mean, I had to do it twice because the first time it just disappeared when I was coming over from the States. So it had some glitches, but in the end I got back, which was the point of it. So yeah, it was good.
I don't think it's any surprise how the federal government handles expenses since Trudeau's got in there. We've had, nothing surprises me. There's a lot more than $80 million missing. The infrastructure money is that Catherine McKenna just walked away from. We've never heard anything about that. So nothing surprises me with this government, and there's a lot more money missing than that.
Yeah, absolutely it has. It's pretty irresponsible. Nobody even can really say who's responsible for these funds, so it's pretty discouraging, I would say, if I could use one word to describe it. Yeah.
Very much so, actually. It's a very good point to make, because from the news that I was reading, they say that they can't actually tell what the complete cost of that Arrive Canada app is, which is disgraceful. I think the federal government thinks that the Canadian taxpayer has an unlimited resources of finances to pay into Canada, which we do not. We have enough obstacles in the way as it is, with things getting more expensive all of the time. So, yes, that's a very valid point to bring up.
Wow, that's a huge discrepancy. To project one thing and go many, many times over, that's wild. And wow, awful. Where'd the money go?
Really disappointed because I used the ArriveCan app. My husband and I did it, and we thought it worked really well. But if we knew that it was that much over cost, I don't know if we would have enjoyed it as much as we did. And I just think it's sad that there's a lot of hidden costs that we're only finding out about afterwards.
Considering what was going on during those years when they launched ArriveCan, i.e. COVID, it's a bit ridiculous to zero in on a $60 million investment on a dumb app, which was really a rounding error. Sounds like election year hype to me. Just another target for the other side of the house.
Yeah, I think, if you're the Auditor General, you could probably, brush up on your decimal placement. But it was during COVID, a lot of crazy stuff was happening. Maybe somebody threw a decimal in the wrong place. Either way, that's years ago, 60 million, 80,000. What is it now? It's gone.
Yeah, as someone who was involved with app development in the past, I know that there's no way an app that simple should cost that much. I just deleted it from my phone yesterday. I think maybe I used it a couple of times because I had to. That's definitely disappointing.
Not in particular. I know that cost overruns can come to be expected, but the auditing of of any project, no matter what it is, including the ArriveCan app, is important. So finding out where the issues came from and why they weren't resolved in process is more important to me than how it actually ended up being there in the final total.
Well, it's brought into question on how things are actually being spent and how effectively they're using the taxpayers' money. Certainly should be reviewed. There's a large discrepancy there that we've all found out about. So I think it's good that it's being investigated.
Yes, I would say something has gone wrong somewhere, or somebody has not been paying attention.
Not really. Basically, there's overspending everywhere. Any large organizations, doesn't matter if it's corporate or federal or provincial, they always under budget and overspend. Or not always, but a lot of times.